without further ado, let's kick us off. Could everyone, just for the record, state their names and that they're present?
Tessie Kinnaman, no one in the room.
Roy Abe, Oahu, no one's here with me.
Michelle Lefebvre, Hawaii Island, no one's in the room.
Wonderful. Sorry, go ahead, Les.
Oh, Leslie Segundo, staff. No one's here.
Great. And Steph Dunbar-Co, and I am alone as well. Let's get us started. By pulling up the agenda. Did everyone have a chance to review the draft?
Yep.
Yep.
I liked it. I have a question.
Sure.
Is our director, she's a member of our board, right? But
No.
she has no,
He's not a member of the board. He's,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
And she has not reviewed the draft. Onauna has, and gave edits to it, which was very helpful. And I also just really want to acknowledge Michelle. She put together the first draft, and very grateful for that. So, you know, would love to open it up for any suggestions. Thanks, Tessie, for your feedback. Roy, I'm not sure where you stand on this. Would love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, again, you know, my general comment is that, you know, the purpose was to make recommendations and all of that to the public and the legislature and the governor. So yeah, I guess yeah, we're kind of in transition. So I think, you know, it's understandable that we're kind of just, it's more of a progress report, and I thought that was a good job when it was done. I had minor comments. I don't know if you want to go through them.
Sure, happy to. You know, just to kind of lay out, right, our pathway as we discussed and agreed to last meeting. This will be, if we vote it out of committee, which I'm anticipating we will, it'll go to the full board, of course, in a couple of hours. And that can be with minor amendments, of course. And the board, of course, may choose to do the same and pass it out with some minor amendments. So I tried.
Yeah, mine are real minor.
Okay.
For the first paragraph, I just thought after the first two sentences, maybe we should start a new paragraph. So the new paragraph would be starting in the past, the EAC heard appeals. Yeah,
Okay.
Just a suggestion. I thought,
Yep.
you know, the subject kind of changed there.
Okay.
And same thing with the third paragraph. I thought maybe we could break it up again. We had the last portion, last two sentences talking about the vacancies, and I thought maybe that could be a separate paragraph.
The last two
In the third,
vacancies.
yeah, 3 vacancies were filled. Yeah, I felt like maybe that was could stand on its own. But it's up to you folks, you know.
Where is that one?
It's the third paragraph.
Make the
The
last two
paragraph starts in
sentences.
2022, the EAC continues to explore.
Oh,
But then at the end, we start talking about filling vacancies. I thought might be good to have us. And then on the last, on the very last paragraph, you know, it says supporting, last part of the sentence is supporting legislation that may impact the EAC and its functions and exploring environmental topics of interest. I thought, well, again, just take this with a grain of salt. I thought it could be after chapter 200.1. I thought we could just see, and supporting legislation and exploring recommendations that promote enhancement and protection of the environment. I thought maybe when we support legislation, we talk about how it impacts EAC and its functions, but really I would like to see us support legislation that helps the environment. So that was kind of the gist of my comments.
Yeah, yeah. So just so I can capture your thought best. So can you repeat what you were
Okay,
saying
so
about
after the words chapter
exploring
200.1,
recommendation? I have the and the environment around around legislation, so I feel good about that. But you said something about instead of saying exploring environmental topics of interest, it would be exploring recommendations.
the recommendations that promote enhancement and protection of the environment,
That promote what and protection of the environment?
that promote enhancement
Enhancement.
and protection of the environment. Well, you can take out enhancement if you want.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, exploring environmental topics of interest, I thought maybe it could be a little bit more positive. Say we're actually
Sure.
trying to protect the environment.
Yep, and
Yep.
has more teeth and closer to function. Sure.
Okay, so that's it.
Thanks, Roy. Any feedback on that or other things, Michelle or Tessie?
So is the other committees is going to be included in this report also?
The other committees, what do you mean in this
Like
report?
the INO and that committee?
Will they be
and
able to review
yeah.
it?
I
What's
mean,
going
I
to
know
the-
they will. Yeah, they
Oh.
will. But I mean, this is it for the annual report then.
I mean, we're there, right? We're at November. So, in years moving forward, my hope is that we can come up. I think our first plan of attack is to come up with a reasonable schedule with milestones throughout the year that
Right.
we meet so that this is not such a rush job, because so long as I've been on the annual report and Scott's been gone, it's been right. So, and we've gone through huge transition as a council.
But yeah,
But
Okay.
yes, to your point, they will review it. I mean, they have it. They got the entire council got it when you all got it, right?
Yeah.
In the agenda. So they've had a chance to review it. I did send the draft to Ron prior to it going to Onauna, because exemptions
yeah.
factored in fairly heavily. And I wanted to make sure we got that right. It's quite technical. And the others, Mary and Robin had chimed in earlier. So I
Yeah,
felt
okay.
we captured their feedback.
Got it. I like it. Compared to the Uka pile of pages before. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
big strain on you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks. Thanks to Michelle, and thanks to this being a working team. I feel like we're on the same page this year, which was nice. Do you know why we see KITV4 Island News on here?
Oh, they just logged on.
Okay. Could
Sorry, I was just
someone,
playing around with the wording of that last sentence to try to capture Roy's concern. I haven't quite got there yet. Exploring environmental topics, including issues of protection, but anyway, I'm gonna keep fiddling around with that, see if I can come up with something real quick.
thanks,
No,
Michelle.
it was an exploring I think I put down an exploring recommendations
Yeah,
that promote, because then it's in line with a statute which says we should be making recommendations. At the very first paragraph, how we describe the function.
Right, I figure we captured, yeah, we can capture that with recommendations, but then with the legislation part, supporting legislation that may impact the EAC and its functions, and then we were talking about the other legislation, right? And we were thinking about legislation that is focused on
Yeah, I
protection
mean,
of the
yes, that's correct. Yeah, we're not mentioning that, but I thought that was kind of just more self-serving. I thought we should look at a broader perspective and
yeah.
Yeah, so I think the language I jotted down, and certainly welcome wordsmithing, was so supporting legislation that may impact the EAC, its functions, and the environment. Wait, and sorry, and supporting legislation that may impact the EAC, its functions, and the environment. But I hear what you mean. There's a lot of ands and it's a long
Yeah.
sentence. Yeah.
And it doesn't get to Roy's comment on the recommendations part. And maybe that goes maybe earlier in that sentence.
Maybe, or maybe we end it there and
Mhm.
have another standalone about
Mm,
exploring recommendations that promote that promote the enhancement and protection of the environment.
yeah,
mhm,
that
mhm.
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I can play around with that and,
Have it for the meeting later.
yeah, for feedback.
So we should pretty much write this up and vote on it
Yeah,
before it goes to meeting, 1 o'clock meeting today. At
you're,
least our draft.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
So,
it's
So that-
1:30.
Or it is 1:30?
Yeah,
Oh, good. I got a half hour to play. Oh,
so I think, hearing no other discussion on the draft, I think we're ready for, a motion and a vote.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the draft. What number draft is this? The draft 2022 with amendments.
My second.
Any other discussion on the motion on the floor? Okay, all in
I have a
favor?
question.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yep.
So the way I worded my motion with amendments, that would include when we go to the 1:30 meeting. Okay. Besides the amendments we made.
I mean, what we could do, how's our time? No,
have-
yeah, it's gotta be with amendments
right.
because they've
Yeah.
already got that draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to accept it with the amendments.
Okay.
Share those amendments with the full council, see if there's any more.
Right.
And then that would initiate the vote, and then we can edit and pass.
It's the
Okay.
2-paragraph breaks and then the edits to the final paragraph. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to expedite it so we can
get it through.
get it
I
through.
appreciate, you're one step ahead of us, Tessie. Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. All those in favor
I
of
Aye.
accepting the motion?
All right.
Aye. All right. Thank you all. So in terms of moving forward, I can play around with that language, but welcome others too. And we can, share what we come up with in full council. I think keeping it simple, though, is going to help with making sure discussion stays on point, and that we get done what we need to get done.
That makes
If
sense.
there's, not anything else, I'd be happy to adjourn us a little early and give us all a little bit more.
Maybe we can ask KITV if they have any questions for us or issues.
Sure. Is
No?
anyone online for KITV4 Island News? And do you have any questions before we adjourn? All right, hearing none. I move to adjourn this meeting
Second.
at 9:30.
Great.
Okay, thank you.